What's up, everyone? This is Fane Slasher VA here, coming at you with a new video. And in today's video, we are going to be discussing a certain purple dragon boy. And here with me is, of course, the newest VTuber on the block, Mizuki Rivendell.
Hi guys.
And yes, I am totally going to be picking on her about it until I get mine to where I have
This
to
is
stop.
why I'm doing the research.
Um, so yeah, I mean, obviously, if any of you have seen yesterday's video, we did kind of tease this video, and since Wednesdays are normally my talking about whatever gaming day, pretty much anything that's not Sonic, more or less,
Yay.
along with Fridays, I figured we would go ahead and do that idea, which is, well, we're gonna talk about Spyro.
Specifically Ripto's Rage.
Yeah, so I figured we would start out with us talking about our history with the series and how we got into it and stuff, and then we'll get into the main point.
Okay, you can start off then since this is your video.
Well, no, you're the guest. So, ladies first.
Of course. So, how I got into Spyro. I'm trying to remember. Because I remember when we first got a PlayStation 1. And at first, all we had was, I think the first game we got for it was like Crash Bandicoot and a few other games. But then there was one day my dad, because you guys might have heard of me if you come. I might have talked about it in other videos, or if you guys have came back stream and heard me talk about my dad yard sales. He goes to yard sales. He brought home literally Ripto's Rage for the PlayStation 1 from a yard sale. And that's pretty much how I got into Spyro, was by playing the second game. But I did eventually get the first game and play it too.
And did you ever get the third game?
Enter the Dragonfly?
No, Year of
Oh,
the
Year of the
Dragon.
Dragon, not Enter the Dragonfly. I get those confused.
Don't mention that trash next to
Yeah,
Year of the Dragon.
I know. That was my bad. I always get them confused. That's my fault.
I'm picking on you.
I
If
know.
you like Year of the Dragon, that's fine. Me personally, it was a letdown. It was unfinished. It was glitchy as heck.
It really was. But yeah, Year of the Dragon, I think we did end up getting it. I can't exactly remember.
Okay, so my history of the series is that we ended up getting Spyro 1 first. Um, because at the time, we were getting a lot of different platformers for um, the PS1. So, like, we had the Crash Bandicoot games, we had um, this one game series that um, just got a remaster, and they're actually going to be re-releasing the Game Boy version of it, and a lot of people hoping that they'll do the same with the second game, which is Croc.
Yep.
Um,
Technically, I think Gex is a platformer too.
yeah, it is because even my mom would tell you this. She was always a more of a bigger fan of those type of games with I guess, with the more like adorable like mascot characters like Mario and all that.
Yeah.
Um, so we got the first game for Spyro. Um, I don't remember how. I think it was just one of those times that they just randomly just got it, which happened a lot when I was a kid. They would always like randomly get stuff for me and my sister. Like there was one time that for the Super Nintendo, We got Kirby Superstar, and we also got the Speedy Gonzalez game. And
I forgot Speedy Gonzalez had a game.
yeah, um, the second game though, I have more of a memory of getting it because it was one of those days to where um my sister was off doing something and we were going video game shopping and ironically Spyro 2 was actually meant to be my sister's. That was actually the plan, but what happened is that any game back then that end up being just one person, it ended up being shared across the
The
whole
whole
household. I
house.
mean,
Yeah, I was about to
yeah.
say that we did that too.
So technically speaking, growing up, I never really had a game that was quote unquote mine. Um, I mean, I mean, okay, scratch that. I've had some, like Hydro Thunder was definitely more my game.
Yeah, I was about to say Hydro
Um,
Thunder was definitely your game.
NASCAR Rumble was more my game. Uh, Crystal Metal was more my game.
Twisted Metal is such a good game.
The very Star Wars games. So, but other than that, everything else was pretty much, you know, if someone wanted to play it, they could. Um, so we got it from, I think we got it from Toys R Us, if I remember correctly. If
I
I'm
mean
remembering
that
correctly.
is a possibility because Toys R Us did sell video games.
Yeah, because at this point, it would have been the green label. So, like, we didn't get it during the launch. We got our PlayStation 1 kind of late. And, um, as for the third game, I actually ended up getting that because I tried to get the copy that my disabled aunt owned, which like I said as a kid, I just before anyone took on me as a kid dealing with what I was dealing with at the time, when I saw something I wanted, I would get it no matter the cost. Um Actually in some ways I'm so like that. Difference is I'm more patient nowadays.
This is true.
But I was actually going to my buddy Rise and I came home and there it was. Simple as that. Um, and then as for the games that came after the third game, I mean, I pretty much experienced Enter the Dragonfly, which, like I said, it features
It
the classic cast, but it was meh. The Hero's Tale game was pretty decent. As for the Legend of Spyro games, I get that there's a lot of people that love them. For me, it's just not Spyro. It's kind of like how I felt with like the Crash games that came after um the the classic games. Well,
yeah,
actually dare I say after Wrath of Cortex.
that
Um,
is understandable. There was also that. Speaking of the other Spyro games, there was also that GBA game where Spyro and Crash switched worlds.
yeah, I want them to do something like that again, but make it a 3D.
That would be cool.
Um, so yeah. And then of course too, like when they brought out the quote unquote remakes slash remasters of the classic trilogies of both Crash and Spyro. Of course, I got it.
Same.
But anyways, onto the main thing of this video.
Why did we play Rito's Rage so much as children?
Well, more like why is it our favorite in the
The whole
trilogy?
franchise, yeah, out of the whole trilogy.
Actually, yeah, that's actually very accurate statement. That is actually my favorite Spyro game across the entire.
It's mine as well across the entire board as well.
So, Spyro 2 really improved on the first game. Like it
Oh
really
yeah, it did.
it incorporated some new skills for Spyro to do finally. Spyro could swim.
But you have
We'll
to
get to how
pay.
you get it, because that's gonna
Considering I
uh,
just beat that not too long ago in Reignited Trilogy, I'm still triggered by that.
um
Ugh.
you have like these different like power up gates that you can get like the flame power up and then the
Another
like
supply
long
one.
range flying.
Yeah.
Um, anytime you go into a world, they play these cutscenes before you start a level and then
After
after.
you leave the level.
So like the cutscene when you first go in, it shows everything going to crap. The one at the end kind of shows the aftermath
Yep. Which
after
some
Spyro
of the
saves everyone.
cutscenes afterwards, after you save everyone from the world, is some of them are funny.
I definitely One of my favorites is actually the Tiki ones where like you see one of them pop up and they're and the two dudes are afraid, but then he takes out a hot dog and joins them.
Yeah, that's hilarious. I love it.
Um,
I think my one favorite scene is the one where you go to the place that has the Yeti in the monk area afterwards.
mhm.
And when they're trying to lift up the thing to put back on top of the building, they end up squashing one of their own monks by accident because of it.
Shit happens.
Yeah. I just found that one really funny.
And hmm?
No, I was gonna say, but anyways, that way you can continue.
And then of course with Spyro 2, you have a new cast that would become staples of the franchise. Like you had um
Hunter.
Hunter, you have Fiona, you have the Professor, you have Ripto, who is, in my opinion, when I think of like Spyro's villains, he's definitely the one I think of the most.
Oh, yeah. And then there's also Moneybags.
Yeah, like I said, we'll get to him. Um, and what I really love about the what I really loved about Spyro 2 as well is that the music is fantastic.
Has really
Steve
nice music.
Copeland, in my opinion, really did improve his soundtrack from the first game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, God, I'm making it seem like he just re recorded the first game. I'm tired, you guys. Remind me.
Yeah.
Um,
No, pretty much what you're saying is he improved upon it.
yeah, and not only that, the hub worlds themselves, like Summer Forest, Autumn Plains, and all that. You know, I love those. Even though probably one of my biggest gripes about two is that you have to backtrack a lot when you get newer abilities.
Yeah.
Um, but it's not that big of a deal. Um,
No, it's not. It just makes it fun going revisiting the worlds.
mhm. because I think what they were trying to do is they were trying to get more play time out of that game compared to the first game, to where like you don't really need to
The
backtrack.
yeah.
Um, so I think because of that, the second game is definitely not super linear because of it.
No, it's not.
Um, one of the other things is that in the actual levels themselves, you have these certain challenges you have to do to get more orbs. There's a total of three of them. So you have which makes sense because it is a 3D platformer. Because everyone knows, even in like the game that started it all, Mario 64, you would have certain hidden objectives, like there's the 100 coin
Coin thing.
star.
Yeah.
That's like the perfect one that comes to mind. And then there's like the secret stars and all that, and like the castle itself. Um,
Yeah, there's a lot of hidden objectives in Mario 64.
but you know, I mean, there's even like one more objective in the freaking flying stages,
Mm-hmm.
because once you find Hunter, you have to race him. Quote unquote race, but it's more like you just have to follow him through the
Yeah.
rings.
But they're fun little races.
Hmm. Um.
Especially the underwater one.
Oh yeah. Um. The enemies are super zany, and yeah. Is there anything you want to say?
Um, I think I was gonna add, out of the worlds, since we have both played this game so much, which world is it that you like going to?
Are you talking about the hub worlds themselves before you get to the actual main levels?
Yes.
Okay, that one is an easy one for me. Um, my favorite one, believe it or not, God, this is a hard one for me.
I'm sorry I asked a hard question. I just figured you'd have a favorite.
I do.
You need to look up and see what the name of the world is.
No, because I know the ones, I know what they look like. I think my favorite, if I had to pick one right now, is probably the Winter Tundra.
You know, I can agree with you on that. I think mine is actually the before you do the main ones world. It's the place that has like the autumn forest and all that after you beat the first place, like the second
Oh
place you go
yeah.
to. Yeah, that place
Oh
is
yeah.
really pretty.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Um, out of the actual levels themselves,
There's too many for me to pick from on that
prob
one.
if I have to pick one that's my favorite, this shouldn't surprise people. I like the dinosaur one.
Oh, oh, you know what? I can't blame you on that one. I forgot the name of that world, but I know exactly which one you're talking about. My favorite world? For some odd reason, my brain wants to say artisan, but I'm like, I don't think that's Spyro 1, not 2.
Yeah, Spyro one.
That's my favorite world in Spyro was the artisan world. um, as for 2, uh, I would probably have to look it up. I'll probably edit it in here. That way I don't take forever looking up the world. But I'll edit it in for everybody. Because I think I know which one it is. I just need to remember the name. And
Um,
I'll put the name for the one that Faye mentioned too.
yeah, and in a lot of ways, Spyro 2 definitely, improved upon what Spyro 1
One,
did.
yeah.
And however, there's one teensy weensy gripe I want to say about Spyro 2.
Is this the one? Is this the part where we're gonna talk about who I think we are?
you know, uh, you know, it's not a level, it's not a world, it's not a mission.
It's an
No, 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 no.
NPC.
It's a money grubbing, greedy ass bear.
Ugh. Yeah, remember earlier when he said you can learn how to swim? You have to pay money bags 200 gems in order to learn to swim.
And just to make it worse, during the quote unquote tutorial level,
He makes you
you have to
pay.
pay him 100 gems in order to bring so that this way he can bring down a bridge.
Yeah. But if I remember correctly, in Year of the Dragon, you get your revenge on him.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was in Ripto's Rage, but no, turns out it's in Year of the Dragon, the third game.
And just to make it worse, in the forest hub world, he literally has the audacity and literally calls you a sucker, and then he quickly covers it.
Yeah, I wanted to flambe him so badly. I forgot how he triggers me worser than the egg thieves in the first game.
Well, yeah, that's because with the egg thieves, as long as you don't miss anything, as long as you don't die in the levels that contains the egg thieves, you don't have to deal with them anymore. Money bags, you don't know when he's gonna pop and be like, hey, hey,
Hey, you
hey,
need to
hey,
pay
hey.
this amount of gems for in order for me to do this, or for you to learn this. Like there, the wall in the fort in one of the areas where you have to pay him to lower it to get to another world. That way you
Yes.
could, yeah, that I think was like 500 gems for him to lower a damn wall.
And for people that wants to be like, I don't see the issue. He doesn't sound that bad. Imagine, imagine when you're going. Okay, imagine going to a restaurant with your family. Everyone else can get in just fine, but you would have to legit. But you would literally have to pay a certain sum to get into the restaurant. Like,
You
not,
have to pay an
not,
entry fee or something.
yeah.
Ugh.
Or be
Money
better yet,
bags is the fucking
or be
worst.
or be worse yet, imagine it's your turn to take a shower, but you can't get in because you got to pay
Like
the fee.
$100 to get in.
Yeah, yeah, that's the money bags.
Yeah. I forgot there was one thing I had to pay 1,000 gems for or something around that amount. I forgot what it was, and it frustrated me so bad because I'm sitting here going, I want to burn him alive so bad with Spyro, but I couldn't do anything. Oh, he is so. Oh.
Spyro, like money bags, is one of those characters like he is legit made to be hated. I don't know how anyone could like him.
If anyone does like them, what you guys
You
need
have
to
horrible
you
taste.
need to rethink your life.
Not only that, but you have horrible taste.
Yeah, that too. Like all the other characters are likable. Moneybags, mm. No. And oh, I can't wait to play
Now,
Year of the Dragon.
now the bright side is he really does end up, improving himself
In Year of the Dragon.
in no,
No, wait, it's
in
not Year of the Dragon.
Hero's Tale.
Yeah.
Probably because of the fact that he doesn't want to get his ass kicked by Spyro again.
Yeah, he doesn't want to re-experience what happened in Year of the Dragon. Gee, Moneybags, maybe if you wasn't the way you were, wouldn't have happened. Now, would it? Bitch.
But yeah, it's such BS.
It really is. Because when I realized I had got to the part where I had to pay him to learn to swim,
Mm-hmm.
my immediate reaction, if I'm remembering it correctly, was like, oh god, I gotta pay him 200 gems just to learn to swim. Great! I have to deal with this. Oh. But it's part of the
Yeah.
game. You have to do it if you really want to complete stuff. So, as
Mm-hmm.
frustrating as it is,
But as for positive notes, and I'm gonna get into a little bit of shipping here.
Spyro and Fiona.
Yeah, a lot of people are gonna be like Spyro and Cinder, and to me, that's a different Spyro. I guess with Cinder, I don't know. I can't like.
It's just one of those things.
That's a different universe. That's a different continuity.
Yeah.
But when it comes to, the classic Spyro and Alora, for sure.
Yes. Also, I also ship Hunter and the rabbit from Year of the Dragon. Her name's Bianca, right? If I'm remembering that
Yes,
correctly. Yeah, I ship Hunter and Bianca.
and that's canon actually.
Yeah, I know it is. I ship it and it's canon. So, that made me happy learning that that's canon.
But let's see what else can we talk about.
How short Ripto is?
Mm, the bosses are fun. They can be a little bit hard, especially when you're trying to do that one skill point.
Yeah, the one skill point is when you're fighting Ripto's other pet. I'm gonna call it a pet because that's how he treats it, is a pet. Trying to get the skill point for that is hard. You can't literally do it until after you beat the game and 100% the game. You can attempt it because I did that multiple times and died a lot. But I had to wait until I beat the game.
But yeah, is there anything more?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head. But I do remember. I'll say one more thing because I remember when I first played the game.
Mm-hmm.
When I first got introduced to Hunter, I loved him to death.
Yeah, he's a great character.
I love Hunter. He's amazing. He's a goofy goober Cheeto.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, you guys, that's it for this video. Let us know what you think about the topic, and I'm sorry if things seem a little bit out of whack with the pacing.
It's
I'm
fine.
tired.
Babe's tired. Also, be civil with the comments, guys.
Mm-hmm. Definitely make sure. Go on.
I am watching all of you.
Definitely make sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and hit that bell button. Definitely go sub to the Foxy Floof.
Well, make sure to sub to the Wolfie Floof too. We need to keep him over 2,000.
And yeah, we'll see you all in the next video. And guys, tomorrow, it is finally time to react to the latest Sonic shorts.
Yes! Shadow reacts to the latest Sonic shorts. Ooh. Let's go.
Anyways, guys, take care.
Bye-bye.